Hey there, Aquarius. Welcome to your reading for this week. You have the snake in this wild card. Sure, we'll take it. I thought I pulled all the wild cards out of this deck, but this is the Gilded Lenormand. I don't really like the wild cards, they're just random. The snake can represent a lot of things. It can represent, a snake, and today is the first day of the Chinese New Year, and it is the year of the snake, so that is very interesting. Well, it'll actually be out the day after for you, Aquarius, but, again, it is kind of interesting that that happened. But the snake can represent, seduction. That can be positive and it can be negative. Seduction, we'll definitely look into it and see what kind of seduction it is, basically. It can also represent you being kind of attracted to something. So, but like I said, it can represent it in a positive way. It can also represent it in a negative way. So I would really be paying attention to your desires, and that's kind of what's popping into my head here, especially with this tower that we have showing up here as well. It's connected to this Five of Pentacles, and the Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold. I always say with the Five of Pentacles, we need to make sure that we are not calling attention to our weaknesses. But just with the snake, with the wild card, with this card sometimes, and also the tower as well, this would kind of represent not getting something that you thought you wanted. I feel like this is something that's already happened and, you didn't get something that you thought you wanted. And, it could have been anything, a person, a place, or a thing. And I feel this is saying, well, really, there's probably something much, much better coming in for you, so I wouldn't really worry about it. But I also would make sure that you are not, attaching your identity to something. It's sometimes I think we, start a business or whatever and it doesn't work and then we immediately think that we're a failure or we're stupid or whatever. And I feel this is saying don't do that, especially with the tower. You have the Six of Pentacles. I actually feel like something was moving too slow, because we go Six of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles down to the moon. And the moon can represent being trapped in an illusion. And it doesn't even really have to be an illusion. But if this was a relationship, for example, it can represent being with a person who's kind of just moving too slowly, who's stringing you along, who's, kind of investing but kind of not. So it's a very 1 foot in, 1 foot out energy. I feel like I said this to you recently as well, and I would be very careful if you have a person who's like that. It's kind of weird, because it's they could have a very strong attachment, or, they could be very attracted to you with that snake card if this is a person. But they also, what I was going to say is I don't know much about the whole avoidant attachment style thing, but, it's kind of giving me vibes of someone who is avoidant or someone who avoids relationships in the first place, right? And so it's those people, they can be attracted to you, but they can also do nothing about it. So I would be careful of getting stuck in something like that based off this energy. I do feel pretty good about this Six of Pentacles as well, and believe it or not, the tower. Sometimes, the Six of Pentacles is about taking steps in a new direction. You have the Strength card coming up after the Tower, and then you have the Two of Cups right after that. It's almost like you're getting some sort of reward for your strength, or you're getting a reward for, kind of continuing to push forward after some sort of difficulty. I look at this first row as your current general energies, but I also look at it as the past position in your reading. I basically do past, present, future, outcome. But I also attach meaning to these. So, general energy, what's coming in for you, future self, and the good stuff, right? So, I kind of feel like this is something that's already happened. You have the Ace of Wands. The Ace of Wands is kind of just a new inspiration. I feel like you need to start choosing things. I'm seeing one of those toys when you're a kid. I can't remember what they call it, where you look through it and you pull a lever and it changes the picture. What the hell am I talking about? I don't know, but it's I'm seeing that in my head with the Ace of Wands. It's almost like things are kind of flashing in front of you, like opportunities or, people or whatever it is you want. And I feel like the universe is asking you to start choosing. It's you have choices. You could be flipping through those choices with whatever the hell the thing I'm talking about is called, and you're flipping through these choices. But, the intuitive message I'm getting off the Ace of Wands is to start making choices. That's not even what the Ace of Wands represents, but, it's I feel like you see these options or directions that you could be moving in life, and I feel it's time to start making those choices. So, just that simple. Right? So let's see here. With the Six of Pentacles, you have the Page of Swords, which you do have twice. I thought so. Page of Swords. I'm a big fan of curiosity, especially for you Aquarius and any of you Aquarius people, Aquarius rising. If you have an Aquarius moon or Aquarius sun, I would say. And again, if you are an Aquarius sun but you have more Aquarius in your chart as well, like maybe you're an Aquarius with Aquarius rising or something, then this is going to be extra powerful for you. But, again, for all Aquarius people, I think it is a great time for curiosity and digging into your curiosity. Again, it seems to me like this is a reading. It's kind of weird, a weird reading in a good way. It's almost like the universe is giving you options, is what I feel intuitively. And the universe is just saying, like, are you going to choose one of these options? Or are you just going to let these things, are you just going to keep flipping through these options? And again, this is not about just love. I feel this is about, everything that you're doing. With the Five of Pentacles, Three of Swords, it makes perfect sense based off everything that I said. Like I said, I think it's confusing when you're with a person. It's like they express all this interest, but they do nothing about it. So I would ask yourself that question, like, was it really love? Or was it just the confusion or the mystery that kept you stuck? And I would forgive and move on. With the Three of Swords, with the Ace of Wands, this is why I'm not worried about the Tower. You have the Star. I should have said it. I knew the Star was going to come up in this reading. So the Star is you, and it says, ultimately, you are the one that has to make these choices and decisions in your life. The Star also encourages you to have a North Star. With Pluto in Aquarius, I tell everyone that they should have a North Star. A North Star is your guiding light. It is like your main message for your own life. It's like if you don't have one, you need to have one. And it could be anything. But, I think everybody needs to kind of just have some sort of purpose. It's like maybe your purpose is to teach people how to hula hoop, and you want to change the world by teaching everyone how to do it. It doesn't matter what it is, but I would just pick something. And I think people think their purpose has to be like, oh, I have to be a dentist or an evil lawyer or something like that, right? But really, no, it can be something that you enjoy. Could be something small. Could be something big. Could be whatever. And I would just pick something. And people always tell me they're afraid to pick something. They don't want to pick wrong. I'm like, well, if you just pick something and you start the journey, you're not going to pick wrong. You have to, follow your inspirations. That's what I did with this channel. I always tell this story. I had like another business when I started this channel, and I thought that business was going to be the thing that took off, but really it was this channel that took off, right? But I just allowed it to happen. For a long time I was stuck, but after that I just allowed it to happen, right? I got out of my own way and I paid attention to what was working and what was not working and all that other stuff. And by doing that, I was guided to this, right? And so, again, it wasn't my original North Star, but it turned into that. So, we just have to pick one thing, get started, follow the inspirations. Next, and you cannot make this one up, next in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this fleeting path card. It says something in your life will be brief, not meant to stay forever. Yes, whatever this was, whether it's a relationship or something else. You have a success and triumph card. It says nothing will be able to get in your way. You will surely come out on top. So love it, coming out on top. You have the Tower, the Knight of Pentacles, and the High Priestess. Again, not going to sugarcoat it. Definitely think that there was probably some sort of Tower moment. Tower moments don't have to be all that dramatic. Tower moments can also be realizations as well. There's this lightning bolt that's hitting the top of the tower. It's like a light bulb moment. And that's kind of like what I feel for you, Aquarius, is that you have maybe recently realized that something just isn't working. That is a Tower moment. When we accept reality, that is a Tower moment. So, I feel for a lot of you that you could have been involved in something, and you realize that it's just not cutting it or it's just not working. For some of you, I feel this is business or work related. For others, it clearly could be love like we described at the beginning of the reading. But for others, I feel it's something like this. You go to the Strength card. So like this kind of combination here would be saying that you've like had patience with something, and I feel like you're realizing that it's like it doesn't matter how patient you are in a situation. If it's not going to work, it's not going to work. It's like sometimes I've worked on projects over the years with like, especially involving other people. And this is not a criticism of other people, but it's like sometimes you work with other people, their vision doesn't match your vision. Just doesn't work out. It doesn't matter how long you stay or how long you try to make it work, it just doesn't work. And that's kind of the feeling I get there. You have the Knight of Pentacles again, very slow. I feel very slow on this Knight of Pentacles, very slow, no movement type energy. And so I feel we're in a time of speed and, needing to strike. It's the year of the snake in Chinese astrology, or the Chinese zodiac, so I feel we really need to be ready to take advantage of opportunities. This was true before as well, so the energy is just continuing. So I feel for a lot of you this is saying that when good opportunities present themselves, it's time to strike. You have the High Priestess. I have a very strong feeling that for a long period of time, pretty much everyone will be getting the High Priestess in readings, because we are in a very intuitive time. The universe is trying to get us to trust our intuition more, listen to our inner voice more, and be guided by our inner voice as well. So, I think working on intuition is always a good idea, especially now. With the Tower, you have the Fool. Really, this is like about being set free because, the Tower, those people are stuck in the Tower, the Fool is ready for a new beginning. So a Tower moment really set you free here, or is setting you free, and allowing you to kind of like start a new journey, an exciting new journey, or, something that could be a lot better. With the Knight of Pentacles, you have the Six of Cups. Six of Cups, it can represent innocence and nostalgia. It can also represent like a soulmate. The Six of Cups, to me, can be a gift from the universe, and usually the gift we receive with the Six of Cups is a turnaround, which is great. Looks like you need one, so there could be some sort of turnaround or breakthrough coming in here. With the High Priestess, you have the Emperor. The Emperor is about taking control. This is another thing that I think people are going to get a lot over a long stretch of time, is Emperor energy. And it's funny that I said time to strike because he has his armor on underneath his cloak, but he's sitting down in his throne. And so it kind of represents the fact that he is ready to go at a moment's notice. And you have the Snake. We're in the year of the snake starting today, so like I said, I definitely feel for all of you that it could be a really good time to, he's not doing anything, but when an opportunity presents itself, he's going to take advantage of it. So I would be looking and paying attention to opportunities. Like I said, it's like you're flipping through the thing, making choices here. And, when something looks good, I would move towards it. And I also feel this energy of needing to realize that you will not be stuck. Like sometimes I think what prevents us from making decisions is we think like, oh, if I, date this person, I'm going to have to marry them. Like we kind of jump too far ahead. And so then we don't date that person because we're like not sure. And so I feel like this is saying like don't jump too far ahead and just see how things go. You can always leave. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Go the Distance card and this Happy card. Yeah, this Happy card, I love this card. This girl is kind of like channeling happiness into the top of her head, so it's a great time to channel more happiness, do more things that make you happy. The Go the Distance card says if you're going to start something with the Fool, then you need to see it through to the end, or you need to give it your best effort and then, kind of go from there. And that's exactly what I would do with that Go the Distance card. You have the Strength card, the Nine of Wands, and the Moon. These, I feel you have been very patient. You've been putting a lot of work into yourself here. And so the Strength card, she is taming that lion, and that lion represents her inner voice or her inner critic. So a lot of you could be kind of like taming your inner voice here, or kind of taking control over yourself in a good way. And, I think it's just saying you've done a lot of work on yourself. You have the Nine of Wands. I do feel you have to open up if you want love here. Then I feel you definitely have to open up because we go up to the Two of Cups. We have the Six of Cups right here with the Knight of Pentacles, which is like too slow. So I don't know if it's you. I feel like I said this to you in like one of your last readings as well. I don't know if it's you or someone that is moving too slowly here. But someone has to do something. The Nine of Wands is also my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. So like we said at the beginning of the reading, it's like the universe is giving you options. I feel that you need to just try things and see how they go. And, take risks and be willing to be playful and experiment with life. I think that's one of the best things we all can do. You have the Moon. Again, I would be careful of anyone who traps you in an illusion. I would be careful of that hot and cold energy as well. It's like, where if you're like with a person where, it's really hot at times, but also then it goes cold. That's what I was feeling in that first diagonal Six of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles to the Moon. Those are illusions. It's like I've been in situations like that, and it's like just when I'm thinking, this isn't working, it's like people know, and then they turn the switch back on and it goes back to like hot and heavy real quick, right? And so I feel like you need to be careful of that because it's like an illusion. With the Strength card, you have the Ace of Pentacles. I would definitely keep your eyes peeled for good opportunities and don't let them pass you by. The whole entire reading is basically saying that the Ace of Pentacles is like a big solid opportunity. You know, the Emperor, he is ready for an opportunity. Really could be a good opportunity here. With the Nine of Wands, you have the Four of Swords. Yeah, I would make sure that you are healed and that you have done things to heal with the Three of Swords in the same row. The Four of Swords kind of does say that you have, so, you know, that's good. With the Moon, you have the Page of Cups. Yeah, definitely could be new love for those that want it. I don't really feel this is like an all-love reading. I think it's a you are making choices reading. Love could be one of those choices, but like I said, it's like the universe is showing you these options and you need to pick the things that you want, right? It's like this is like cold stone, you know? You're at the store, you're mixing all the flavors together, all the toppings together, all that other stuff, right? And that's what you're doing. So if you can't tell, I'm doing no cheat days this year. That was my resolution, so I've been thinking about ice cream since the end of last year. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. And you know, again, so there you go. Cold stone is my weakness. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this pregnancy and wealth card. You have this house card that says relocation and home on it. So, definitely a lot of moving energy. I just think we're in a time of moving. It makes sense to me that, you know, just based off the astrology, we have so much reinvention energy. We have so much energy that has to do with energy and how we feel in our environment. So even if you're not moving, you could be thinking about like the energy that's around you and you could be making changes. I moved my office. Why? I don't know why I didn't set it up this way. This direction is much better than that direction, which is how my office was before. So, I don't know why I did it this way, but anyway, you know, again, relocation energy makes perfect sense. Pregnancy and wealth, again, your ideas or opportunities could lead to abundance, so I would be paying attention to your ideas. You have the Two of Cups, Magician, and the Page of Swords. Two of Cups is a perfect match, so, if you want love, definitely looks really good. Two of Cups is usually a person who's different than your usual type, which I think I'm pretty sure you constantly get this card, so, you know, it could be someone who's a little bit different. Two of Cups usually starts as communication as well, so you could start communicating with a person. You have the Magician. The Magician is about reinvention, and, you know, again, there's like a lot of opportunity for you to change the energy that you deal with in your life. I feel, you know, adding all those ingredients into your cold stone of life ice cream is going to make you who you are. The Magician is kind of about reinventing yourself and expressing your true self. You know, it is a card of manifestation and all that other stuff. But guess what? There is a snake right here. And, you know, the year of the snake might be the year that you decide to reinvent yourself or, you know, express yourself as you truly are. I always pull a card he's pointing to, which we're going to say is this one right here. You can't look at this right here. It's the crescent moon has a snake wrapped around it. It says, as the moon grows, so can your wealth, health, and happiness. Stay positive. You can't make this up, so there you go. Love it. You have the Page of Swords. Yeah, curiosity is going to be your best friend. I think you're being led through curiosity. You need to pay attention to your curiosity and where your mind is guiding you, and that's what I would do with that card. With the Two of Cups, you have the Queen of Pentacles. Yeah, you have everything you need. I always get this message for you as well, Aquarius. Like if you have your eye on a person or if you're dating a person, whatever, and if you're feeling like, can I provide for this person or am I good enough for this person? I would like, quote, don't say that. So I would definitely not say that, right? With the Queen of Pentacles, I feel like you just need to go for it. I think you are more than enough. With the Magician, you have the Death card, more transformative energy. So, you know, you are changing. With the Page of Swords, you have the Five of Cups. Five of Cups is coming up in the good stuff, which would say you are looking at what you do have, not on what you don't have, which will lead to this bridge and this castle. So the Five of Cups is about gratitude, and it would say that you are probably practicing gratitude more. And when we do that, we attract like better things into our lives. So, you know, this looks very, very good to me. You have this Amp card. It says work achievement success. I mean, Ace of Pentacles, the Emperor. I think I said something about how at the beginning of the reading like there was a little bit of love, but I do feel that there is something about improvements in work or your earnings money-wise. You have this Gavel card. It says involvement with the law. Was it you I said like be careful of speeding? Think it was. Was it you? I could be wrong, might have been Libra, but it doesn't matter. I would be careful of speeding and things like that, especially in the year of the snake. I would definitely say, the year of the snake is supposed to be positive and abundant, but the year of the snake can also represent a snake in the grass or something sneaky. So, it's like one of those things where I think this year, if you're not careful, you could get pulled over, where the cops hide really hidden in a spot on the highway where you can't see them. That's the stuff you need to think about. Don't worry about it, don't reject it, don't create it, but just pay attention, right? And that's what I would do here, because it's like if you're going to get caught speeding or running a red light, it's just going to come out of nowhere with the snake energy. And you have like 19 snakes in this reading. And you have this broken wish bonus. It says wish will not be granted. Tower. I feel like something was like a wish, it could have been something, and that's what I would be careful of, is thinking this could have been great. Like, I've talked to a lot of people over the years, obviously doing readings, and I've heard it many, many times where people say like, I was with this person and it was really good and it could have been something great. And I always say to those people, yeah, but it wasn't, and so no, it couldn't have been good. And I always tell those people, think right now you're just thinking of the good things. You are not thinking. If you really think about it, there were probably a lot of warning signs. There were probably a lot of things that you didn't like about the connection. That's what you need to think about. You have this fair woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a woman with blonde, gray, or white hair. You have this carrot. It says opportunity or windfall. It doesn't matter. I'm reading for 1,000,000 of you. I think that this is you. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I would really be paying close attention to solid opportunities that come your way. And that's what I would do here. You have another peacock. It says beware of great pride. I would be careful of people who are overly confident. You do have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is showing up in the good stuff, but the Two of Cups can represent people with ego issues, And in the good stuff, it could say that you're attracting a person who has a very healthy ego. But if you have a past person who has an unhealthy ego, that's what I would be careful of. And especially we had Mars retrograde in Leo. It's in Cancer retrograde right now. But what I would say is Mars, it started in Leo, and that is definitely negative ego stuff. So that's what I would be careful of. But this looks really good here, Aquarius. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.